I have reviewed the first three Jurassic Parks, and I have reviewed Jurassic World Dominion probably about 2 years ago by now. Um, so I thought it was time to rewatch Jurassic World and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom since I've never reviewed them. I figured I had reviewed this movie and just forgot, but apparently not. Um, it's a it's not as good as I remember because I used to really like this movie. Um, it's not terrible though. A lot of people criticize Owen for a lot of shit that I didn't really pay attention to when I first watched this movie because I thought Owen was fine when I originally watched this movie. Um, a lot of people criticize him for the hand thing with the raptors, how he's able to control the raptors like by putting his hand up and how stupid that is. It's a little silly, but I don't hate it. Um, I do, however, hate some of the lines in this movie of him trying to be a tough guy. Most of them were just fine, didn't really bother me. Maybe in the later movies I won't like them, like Fallen Kingdom, since I'm going to be reviewing that. I've already reviewed Dominion, so I'm not rewatching it. Um, but there's like a line of him saying, "What? Why do you think the job was open?" Like, that's kind of stupid. You know, he saves this guy from being killed by the raptors, and he's like, "Well, why'd you think there was a job opening?" I get he doesn't work at the park, so, you know, it's not like he doesn't want to get this guy away from the job. But it just feels like a dumb, cool, badass line. And it just isn't cool. So we follow this girl, Claire, and her nephews that are somewhat estranged. She hasn't seen them in 7 years. Um, I don't think it's that bad. Because I have family members I also haven't seen in that long time. I think that's just what happens sometimes. I had an uncle that I hadn't seen for about 5 years. And I went to go visit him last year on his birthday. Um, I think that's just what happens sometimes. You know, the older you get, you know, the more you grow apart from your family. Some you may still be close with, others you may not. Um, I didn't realize that Claire's sister is played by the same girl from Halloween, Karen. Did not remember that, though she's not in any of the other Jurassic World movies. At least as far as I remember, I don't think she makes a return, and neither do her sons, Claire's nephews. Um, they have a little divorce plot. I guess we're supposed to meant to get like a Cujo feeling where the parents are back together because of like a trauma bond. You know, they thought their kids died during the Jurassic World incident, but they're A-okay. It's not like fully said, but I feel like that's what they're saying. Um, there's also this brief scene with this guy that is like, "It's just my job, man. I have to close the rides." I recognized him as this guy I've seen on Instagram doing like skits a few times. So it was funny to see him in this movie. One of the ACU soldiers is played by the same guy that was in the Wolverine, and he was in other movies like Fast and Furious, but I've never seen those movies. Except for the one where the car goes to space. I went and saw it in theaters with my friends. I'm not even sure I reviewed it. um, there's a lot of fucking cool people in this. There's also the guy that plays like the CEO of Jurassic World. John Hammond entrusted it to him. He's played by a guy that passed away a few years ago. I believe he had died from COVID. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure he died in like 2021 or 2022 from COVID. He was also in The Amazing Spider-Man, the first one. He plays like a nice guy at first. Like he cares about the animals being happy. He cares about the people being happy. He doesn't care about the numbers. But as the thing goes on, he seems like not as much as a good person. He eventually dies in a helicopter crash. I liked his character in this movie. I think he was cooler in his brief role in Amazing Spider-Man, but it does show his depth because he was more of an evil guy in Amazing Spider-Man. What else? This movie introduces the idea of a hybrid dinosaur, even though that's basically what they've been doing. I mean, they have made dinosaurs that aren't exactly what they are in, how they were in real life 75 million years ago. So that they're technically making hybrids, but they decide to really make a hybrid in this movie called the Dominus Rex that kind of looks like the dinosaur called Rudy from one of the Ice Age movies. At least to me. But I also haven't seen that movie in years, so maybe I'm wrong. But I think it looks like that dinosaur from what I remember. A lot of cool kills in this movie. The Dominus Rex is combined with tree frog, cuttlefish, and it's like a plot twist when there is about 40 minutes left in the movie, in this 2-hour movie, that it's also a raptor. There's 4 raptors in this movie, but Blue's really the only one that matters. There's Blue, Delta, Charlie, and Echo. Don't know why one of them's called Charlie and the other ones just feel more like dinosaur names. Like, why is one of them called Charlie? Every time Chris Pratt says Charlie, I'm like, where's the guy he's talking to? Because it sounds like a fucking dinosaur name, even though I have a grandma who has a dog named Charlie. It's just weird. Chris Pratt is a cool guy, so even though he doesn't do something very cool, the kids immediately like him. I was baffled when this happened in the movie. Here, I want to talk about it. Claire butts a dinosaur off with a weapon, a pterodactyl. Well, pterodactyls look kind of weird in this movie. She hits it with a sniper rifle, and then she shoots it point blank. And the kids see it, and they're like, is that Aunt Claire? They go and hug her, and a few minutes later, they're with her and Owen, and he backs up a car. That is all he does. He backs up a car while they're in it, and they're like, we want to stay with him. What? He backed up a car. How was that cool to you guys? The kids also, because they worked on Grandpa's old Malibu, are able to restart a 1992 Jurassic Park car that happens to be there. I guess they built the Jurassic World on the Jurassic Park and just put a bunch of the old Jurassic Park stuff in like a garage or something. So they're able to fix up the car. They have a little line that I thought was funny just because I can personally relate to it, where the little brother Gray talks to his big brother, who I forget the big brother's name, because he didn't have that much character. The big brother is asked by Gray, I thought you failed your driver's thing. And he's like, only the driving part. That relates to me because I passed driver's ed with a B+. But I could never get the driving part. It's just too stressful to me. I failed the driving part a few times. I tried to retake it and I did not do good any of the times. I think I did it about 3 times. So I thought I related to that line personally. So I liked that. Eventually, too many people have died. There's the big kill scene with, it can camouflage. I fucking love that scene. I still love that scene. So, too many people have died, so there's like this asshole throughout the movie who's been wanting to use the raptors as weapons. So he decides to use the raptors as weapons, and it doesn't go well because it turns out they're part raptor and they speak to Dominus Rex and decide to attack people. And that's what they do. They kill a bunch of people. One of them dies by getting blown up with a bazooka. Chris Pratt doesn't give too much of a performance here, but you can at least tell he's upset. Yet later, 2 more of the raptors die, and he doesn't even have that much of a reaction. One of them gets thrown into a fire and dies. Another one just kind of gets tossed, which I thought was lame. Because Blue also gets tossed, but Blue's fine. So yeah, that was kind of weird. Jimmy Fallon also makes a fucking cameo. I never really liked Jimmy Fallon. I didn't even know who he was when this movie came out. I didn't know who Jimmy Fallon was for a long time. I only found out about him like a few years ago. But yeah, he plays himself in this movie. He's like the tutorial for the glass ball that Gray and his brother are in. And he says, "Hi, I'm Jimmy Fallon." It reminds me of how Jon Stewart played himself in Batman vs. Superman. There's other movies where characters play themselves, but, you know, I'm talking more like talk show host and shit, like Jon Stewart and Jimmy Fallon. Though I believe Jon Stewart isn't like a talk show host. He's more like a political person. What else happens in this fucking movie? Oh, my favorite kill of the movie is when one of the pterodactyls attacks the helicopter and it kind of like busts through and just impales this guy. It's so sudden and it's so good. There's so many good kills in the movie. That's my personal favorite. Claire ends up realizing that, you know, we need another dinosaur to kill the Dominus Rex. Like, these raptors can't fight it on their own because all of them are fucking dead. Blue's the only one left. So she decides to go get a T-Rex, and she does the classic thing from Jurassic Park, getting it to follow a flare. Oh, that reminds me of another character that's in this movie. There's this guy Lowry or something. And he's played by Jake Johnson, who I know from the comedy movie that came out a year before this, because I checked the release date. Let's Be Cops. I liked him in that movie. So yeah, he's in this movie. He went from Let's Be Cops to a Jurassic World movie, where he's got a pretty big role. So the fucking T-Rex attacks the Dominus Rex. It's doing decent for a while, but the Dominus Rex almost kills it. Blue saves it. They get it backed up against the water, and the Monosaurus eats it. Pretty cool way to kill it. And the movie has the parents and the kids reunite. And then it ends with the T-Rex roaring. This movie was not as good as I remembered. It was decent. A lot of flaws, though. Some cool shit and some bad shit. But I guess it's a pretty decent return to the series. So I'll be watching Fallen Kingdom, which I didn't even really like that one when it came out. Next.